what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Moss Nissan in Newport Richey, Florida, and I have another updated sedan for you. This is it. This is a 2023 Nissan Altima. This particular one is the SL trim. But before we get into this platinum pearlescent white midsize sedan, let's talk about what's going on. The sedan. It seemed to be part of the auto industry that would never go away. Well, guess what? Things have gotten a little smaller and smaller for this segment. Obviously, Ford killing off all their sedans. Mazda getting rid of the Mazda 6. But you know what? Nissan, just like some of the other competitors, still think that the mid-size sedan especially is really a vehicle that needs to stick around. Now for 2023, Nissan has made some pinpoint accurate updates and changes to the Altima in hopes of staying competitive in this segment. Obviously going up against some key players and some of them that have gone through total redesigns like the Kia K5. So what I want to find out is this Nissan Altima SL the best new mid-size sedan to buy? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the color. It's a beautiful platinum pearlescent white, really pops like a white diamond in the sun. At the front of the business, we're gonna get, of course, your LED daytime running lamps, LED turn signals. It's interesting how the Altima, overall the design has stayed pretty fresh. Remember, this received a redesign back in 2019, and this is the first update, big update since then. Now, you do have some chrome finish. Depending on the trim that you have, the chrome can be dark chrome or it could be a bright shiny chrome finish like we have on our SL. Working our way down, you do have these large gloss black corner vents that aren't really vents. So would have been nice to see some other direction with this. It sort of reminds me of the Type R, the FK8 Type R. It's sort of like a waffle iron. So I've got some syrup. We're gonna make some waffles because it's right around breakfast time right now with those waffle grade set up on the vent. So it would have been nice to do something else. So we're definitely gonna zonk that. But as we come across the front, you see the rest of the changes. That V-Motion grille, it's a design standout with Nissan. You look at a Frontier, you look at an Armada, you look at a Maxima, you're gonna get that V-Motion grille design. With the updated Nissan badge, you do have the gloss black in the center with that new grille. And then, like I said, the chrome forms the V of the V-Motion grille. Even the way they have everything functional, even on these inside vents, would have been nice to see some of that functionality on the outside as well. But hey, this isn't Burger King, you can't have it your way. But as we get up onto the hood, that pearlescent white paint sparkles nicely, like I said, and then coming around the bend, you are gonna get new wheels on all the trims. This one is specific to the SL. So you're gonna get a very classy multi-spoke wheel, machined aluminum with sort of like a dark gray metallic finish. The new Nissan badge looks really great there in the center. And if you're wondering, well, what's the size of this wheel? 19-inch wheel, 235 on the width, and a 40 series sidewall. Front wheel drive or all wheel drive. Our particular one is front wheel drive. Coming down the side, color matched on the mirror caps. When you go SL trim, you are gonna get 360-degree cameras, which is a nice piece of technology. I do like the way the shiny bright metal work on the bottom of the window trim matches nicely with the chrome on the front. And on the SL, you're gonna also get these chrome door handles as well. Along the bottom, I like the way the bottom sill is super clean. And then working our way towards the rear, you do have that gloss black that creates that floating roof design. It would be interesting to see the next Altima be a sportback. If Nissan redesigns this, that's what they need to do to really stay strong within the mid-size segment. Swinging around the back, one of my favorite parts of the Altima is I really like the body line that flows along the belt line right into the rear fender. Of course, we have the same taillights. I wish they would have updated these. Definitely gonna have to zonk those because we have Thomas Edison in there actually flashing a traditional light bulb. Altima badge, nice dark gray finish, SL trim, and then another thing that's gotta go is this bumper applique, they call this. kind of cheapens it a little bit. Not my favorite touch, but that is optional. So if you want one, just don't option that part. And then on the bottom portion, you are gonna get the exhaust on both sides. And I like the way on the SL trim, it's color matched. The bottom rear diffuser area is color matched with the rest of the vehicle. The one thing that I just despise is the thin strip of waffle iron fake vent on the back. Not as bad as up front, but really what is its purpose? Let me know in that comment section. The only thing I could think is you could make like a waffle style churro, because you're gonna have to make something real thin. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our updated Altima. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have one out of the two different engine options. Now, when you go Kia K5, you're kind of stuck with the 1.6 liter unless you step it up to the GT. With this SL, you can get different engine options with the turbocharged power plant, but this one is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline four, putting out 188 horsepower, 178 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT, 0 to 60 in about 7.4 seconds. Top speed, it's kind of weird. It's 119 miles per hour, and it's actually governed to 119. Why they chose 119 is beyond me. MPG is around 28 in the city, 39 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,300 pounds. So it's nice to have the different engine options and also front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, which you can't get all-wheel drive on a Kia K5. But why don't we go ahead, let's start this thing up and see it move. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Nissan Altima SL. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I don't want to give up on the sedans. I don't want to buy an SUV. I'm digging this Altima. I guess the big question is, how much is it? So the way that this one is optioned, you're looking at an MSRP of $34,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the two-tone door panels. So nice, clean design. And you know what? I'm not a big off-white beige kind of guy, but it does really bring some nice style to the door panel. A little bit of silver trim, loving the stitching, soft touch material. You do have a bit of gloss black around the switchgear, but if you're pinpoint precise, say that 10 times fast, with your fingers, you should not be able to get fingerprints all over the place. Door pocket is a little tight, so if you go to Chipotle, you're gonna have to skip the burrito, just go 2 tacos. You could get the guac, but remember guac costs extra, and a nice bottle of root beer to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, they do bring the two-tone throughout the whole interior, and I like the way they did that. On the SL trim, you are getting this darker wood finish without any kind of shiny veneer. We do have the Bose sound system to give some clear audio, and then guess what? Get to the infotainment system, you got a 12.3-inch screen now. This is all new. Base is still 8-inch, but this is the optional one. If you're comparing this to the Kia K5, the largest you could go is 10.25. So guess what? When you're measuring and comparing sizes with your friends, you're gonna win. You got the 12.3 inches of infotainment system screen. Obviously, navigation, pretty quick on the movements. What I do like is, like, let's say you're thirsty and you want a cup of Joe, no relation, of course. You hit the coffee cup, it actually pulls up all the coffee shops with mileage, and you can see it's very quick reacting. How about fuel? We're almost about to run out of gas here. Pull up the different stations, it gives you the price and the mileage. So that's a really nice touch. Throw it into reverse. Backup camera is gonna be where there's definitely a zonk. It almost looks like you're looking through a potato that's attached to the lens of the camera. Not the clearest resolution, but you do have your trajectory and you do have your 360-degree cameras. But like my dad always says, if you have 12 inches, use the 12 inches. So why not have the screen take up more of the space here? So 12-inch infotainment system screen, but you don't get to use all of that space. And then you're right back to where you started. More of that wood finish, the AC vents nicely integrated. You do get heated seats and heated steering wheel, which is a nice touch in the SL trim. You also get dual climate control with very nice switch gear. Down below, you have a USB-C, USB-A, and a 12 volt. Just make sure you don't stick your Twinkie in there. It's gonna hurt. You do have, of course, your wireless charging pad. This is gonna control your CVT. That's the one weak link in the drivetrain. You hit this little minus button. You're actually not subtracting anything. You're actually adding sport mode. You got your start stop button conveniently placed. A little bit more gloss black, so you're gonna have to be careful with the fingerprints. I do like the stitching and the soft touch material. Still the same key fob since the Earth was created. I don't know why this has the old one and vehicles like the Aria have the new one. So I don't know what's up with that. It would be nice to have the new key fob. Some more gloss black, soft touch on the armrest. The good news is you open it up, no connectivity, but this is where, you know what? If you're trying to impress that one girl at work and you go to Chipotle with your friends during your break and you want to, bring her back a burrito, this is where you could keep her burrito. And because it's enclosed, you could keep it a little warmer than if it was just in the door pocket. And then that way, when you show up to work with a nice Chipotle burrito, you're the man. Well, guess what? In these seats, you could be the astronaut because these seats are designed by NASA. They're zero gravity seats. Nice, comfortable material, soft touch. You do have full power assist for the passenger. And of course, full power assist for the driver. The one zonk that's almost like hit me in the head is that. You do have a sunroof, but it's just a standard sunroof. I would like to see a panoramic sunroof in this SL trim, but why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the steering wheel in this Altima SL. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your aluminum sill plate on the SL trim, and you do get the Altima name. Lights up at night to remind you what vehicle you bought. There's your power seat controls for the driver. I'm still 6 feet tall. I have not shrunk yet. I know some people are debating that. I have not shrunk yet. Still got plenty of room. Steering wheel, flat bottom. What I do like is on the SL, they do the lighter stitching. So it reminds me of just like a baseball signed by Jose Canseco before he started injecting all those freaking roids. You got your flat black on the buttons, manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, no paddles on the SL trim to go through simulated gears, but you do get the same dash, 7-inch large display in the center, analog gauges flank it on both sides, and then I do like the way they do the nice hood as well for your instrumentation with the stitching. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see what kind of room we have for your passengers in this Altima. All right, guys, backseat time, and just like any other mid-size sedan, you're gonna surprisingly have plenty of room back here. If any of your passengers are complaining about not having enough room, I'll leave the phone number for the complaint line to Nissan for their rear seats so that you don't have to hear the complaining. Let them complain to Nissan. They make the big bucks, not you. But anyway, sitting back here, lots of room, no pocket behind the driver's side, and that on an SL trim is surprising. I don't know why. I mean, I know why they're doing it. It costs, but you worked hard, you deserve 2 pockets, not just one. What they do give you, though, are 2 AC vents, rear AC vents, which is a nice touch, and you have a USB-C and a USB-A, so you don't have to go to Walmart and buy like an adapter, a 12-volt adapter or anything like that. I have my own pocket here, so I could keep my Mad Libs, maybe my travel-size Battleship. I used to love playing that as a kid, Battleship. I used to freaking love it when my sisters and brothers used to be like, "You sank my Battleship," and I would be like, "Yeah, that's right." Armrest, you could chill in the back seat, chilling like a villain, debating why, you exist, or how far does space go while you're leaning on your armrest. 2 cup holders, flip it back up. Let's go ahead, let's get to that trunk because I want to go for a spin in this new Altima. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. The nice thing is that even though it's a sedan, you still get a lot of usable room, 15 cubic feet of space, nice low cargo floor. There is a spare, and one of my favorite parts are the handles, believe it or not. I know that may sound simple and silly, but you pull the handle and then you're able to fold the seats down. Now, I don't want to climb into the trunk to make that happen, so I'm actually going to get a special tool here. This is actually from Nissan. It's the seat battling ram. So you're actually going to take it and you're going to push just like this. And now you can see what the space looks like with those seats down. Just make sure that you have your ram to ram it down if you don't want to climb into the trunk. But you know what? Nice to have the usable space. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go see how this Altima drives down the road for 2023. All right, guys, we left Moss Nissan. We're in this 2023 Nissan Altima, this one being the SL trim. Very well laid out in here. I do appreciate how they have placed everything. It's well within reach. The new infotainment system is such a nice addition, really brings the interior up to another level. And also the finishes I'm really digging, especially the soft touches everywhere. Going down the road here, it's actually quite quiet in the interior. Not a lot of road noise. Those zero gravity seats are gonna keep you supported without you feeling like you're sitting on a waterbed. And then you have plenty of flexibility on the room of the interior as well, with not only the front having plenty of room, but also the back seats having plenty of room for your passengers. I do have it in sport mode. The way that you know that is that there's a letter S next to the drive on the dash to let you know that you hit that button on the back of the shifter. But very, very smooth. The one thing that I think is just kind of killing the engagement in the driving department is going to be obviously the CVT transmission. It would be nice to see the 9-speed automatic in this vehicle, but nice light feel to the steering, so you don't have to worry about a heavy steering feel. And that's another thing with the Altima, is that if you're the type of person that just wants to get in, start it up, and drive, you don't have to worry about drive modes. You don't have to worry about auto start, stop, shutting it off, turning it on. It makes it real simple. You just get in, hit the start stop button, and you put into drive and you go. But going down the road, going over the bumps, does a great job with the suspension. Not too soft, but also obviously not too firm as well. And then we just gotta, you gotta look at that price point. $34,000, you get a 360-degree camera. You got the new styling, LED headlights, and of course, this new infotainment system. All right, guys, as we're driving down the road, I just want to go on throttle real briefly. We're doing about 35 miles an hour on throttle. So definitely not the fastest as you are driving at speed and you get to step on throttle and go. If you want faster, you can have it faster with, of course, the variable compression turbocharged engine, which definitely gives you a nice punch. But what I do like about this vehicle is that the visibility is great, especially in situations where there's no flagman present and somebody is working in the road. Allows you to be able to pass successfully. Visibility out the back is wonderful. And then you can see it's just a very composed setup as we're driving down the road. I like the way the interior feels really solid. There's no creaks or rattles or anything like that, so that's a big, big plus. We're gonna go on throttle real quick here. Nobody's behind us. On throttle, here we go. So the great news is that those simulated gears are gonna keep the revs down so you don't get that loud, annoying drone that you find in some CVTs, but still not, it's just not snappy enough. And the thing is, if you step up to the turbocharged engine, yeah, you're getting more power, but it's still hampered by the CVT not being snappy enough to downshift and get you going. Pulling away from a light, nice throttle sensitivity, which is great. But I think the biggest part that I like is on the steering wheel, all the buttons are flat black, so you're not gonna get a ton of fingerprints all over the place. The dash is easy to understand, easy to read, and makes sense. And I'm glad that they put those simulated gears in there just to kind of help with the overall driving experience. But going down the highway, very smooth, very comfortable. And the fact that you could have this front wheel drive or all wheel drive is another nice touch. But hopefully this was a nice overall review of the 2023 Nissan Altima. This one, like I said, being the SL trim. We're gonna get back to Moss Nissan and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Moss Nissan. Definitely want to thank David Moss Jr., and Christian, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this SL trim Altima. Let me know what you think. Does this have the proper changes to make it a standout? Is there something else you want to see change, like the CVT? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. We got to give it up to Stephen Flood Photography, out here in the Florida sun. He's actually wearing his sombrero to keep the sun off of his delicate skin. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.